F1 has been looking to expand the teams on the grid, and documents have now been legally released for interested parties to express their interest in joining, after FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem's remarks earlier this year that he wanted the regulatory body to explore the notion. If everything goes according to plan, we'll see 12 teams on the grid very soon. The FIA said in a statement on Friday that it will assess the possibility of new teams using rigorous financial and technical analysis, as well as sustainability and positive societal impact criteria. According to the FIA, each proposal must demonstrate technical skill and resources, including financing levels, as well as relevant expertise. Furthermore, applicants must discuss how they will manage sustainability aspects, as F1 strives to become carbon neutral by 2030. A new team might enter the grid as early as 2025, with potential entrants required to pay a non-refundable $20,000 admin fee when expressing interest. Speaking about the launch of the new team process, Ben Sulayem said, "The growth and appeal of the FIA Formula One World Championship is at unprecedented levels. The FIA considers the conditions are suitable for interested companies, which fulfill the selection criteria, to declare a formal interest in entering the championship. For the first time ever, as part of the selection conditions, we are requesting that candidates set out how they would meet the FIA's sustainability benchmarks and how they would make a positive societal impact through sport. The process is a logical extension of the positive acceptance of the FIA's 2026 F1 Power Unit regulations from engine manufacturers, which has attracted Audi to Formula One and created interest among other potential entrants." Ben Sulayem's remark earlier this year, implying that new team bids will be considered, prompted the Andretti Global organization to go public with their ambitions to partner with Cadillac for a move into F1. While Andretti's plans have piqued the FIA's interest, they have yet to win over potential grid competitors or F1 owners Liberty Media. Current entrants and the FOM are keen to learn more about the advantages of a new F1 team. This is especially crucial for the current 10 squads, who risk having their portion of the commercial rights money diminished if new clubs arrive. But not everyone embraced the idea of new teams. Some current teams are skeptical about the idea and want to see good plans before they would like to see the teams join. Last month, new Williams team principal James Vowles stated that any effort to bring in new participants must be exclusively driven by developing the sport and not risk destabilizing the current system. "We're always open to the sport growing, but the truth behind it is the sport financially needs to become more and more successful," he said. Whoever participates in that atmosphere needs to bring with it successfully the growth that is necessary in order for everyone else to be in a better position, or at least a neutral position. And I think it's been the statement from the outset, from the beginning. There are a lot of lovely things about Andretti and about Cadillac. It just needs to have a good understanding of how it will grow the sport, in what way, and what the growth will be. Any decision to add new teams to the grid must be made in collaboration with both the FIA and the FOM. Ben Sulayem told at the recent Monte Carlo rally that Andretti was the only organization that had expressed an interest. "To us directly, it's Andretti," he said about it being up to now the only party to have come forward. The FIA anticipates that the formal procedure to assess the viability of new entrants would continue until April 30th. It then states that any decision on forming a new team must be made by June 30th. The FIA records also state that the ultimate decision is not solely up to the regulatory body. And for teams wanting to join the grid, it isn't easy as well. They will have to go through a rigorous research phase with lots of upfront costs. Because when it comes to gaining privileged entry to the F1 club, the procedure has become much more rigorous and rigid in its aspects. Back in the day, teams were let in without perspective, and now that the sport is at its highest it's ever been, FIA want to take precautions. But it is, however, an essential formality since F1 needs to verify that all of its participants have the required support and competence to perform well. The FIA and Formula One Management, or FOM, do not want teams to come for 1 or 2 years, struggle in the rear, and then fail and go. It ultimately comes down to long-term growth. The formal start of the process to invite teams to possibly join Grand Prix racing in the 2025, 2026, or 2027 seasons this week has spelled out how the evaluation process will work to determine who is regarded acceptable enough. First up, the email application. The first stage is for potential new teams to send an email to the FIA expressing their wish to join F1. This must comprise 6 distinct components: a cover letter outlining the candidate's qualifications, the candidate's complete contact information, including the main contact person's name, phone number, email address, and postal address, company information including address, articles of incorporation, and infrastructural information, the names of all the shareholders, as well as the ultimate beneficial owner of all shares, a curriculum vitae for each prospective entity's director and officer, information about the candidate's relative automotive and/or motorsports experience and skills, including technical experience, racing experience, facilities, equipment, and engineering resources. Teams must also sign a non-disclosure agreement connected to the current negotiations with the FIA, as well as pay a $20,000 non-refundable administration charge in US dollars. Yes, that's correct, a fee of $20,000 just to get your email read. The FIA are really that serious about it. Next up, the formal procedure. Within 48 hours of receiving an expression of interest, or by February 11th, the FIA will notify any candidates it believes may be appropriate that they will proceed to a more formal review procedure. This will necessitate a $300,000 application cost from the teams, albeit the first $20,000 price can be waived, to cover FIA expenditures in conducting its due diligence. Who says F1 isn't all about money, right? While the precise specifics of what will be reviewed in this second round will be announced later, the FIA anticipates that it will include many crucial criteria. They are as follows. Number 1, the team's technical skills and resources. Number 2, the team's capacity to raise and keep adequate funds to pay its financial responsibilities while remaining competitive. Number 3, the team's ability to meet and adhere to its commitments under the F1 sporting, technical, and financial regulations. Number 4, a thorough business strategy, including financial estimates for the project's first 5 years. Number 5, the team's experience and skills in the car and/or motorsport sectors, including technical and racing experience, facilities, equipment, and engineering resources, as well as necessary employee headcount and experience. Number 6, whether or if the team and any individuals intending to participate in the team's ownership, control, or management are fit and appropriate people. Number 7, sustainability, equality, diversity and inclusion, and social benefit considerations. Number 8, the FIA's appraisal of the candidate's potential worth to the championship, taking into account its reputation and integrity. It is also possible that F1's commercial rights holder will set additional conditions that must be met. So, when can we expect to see the approval of new teams? The FIA anticipates that the deadline for teams to submit the aforementioned information will be April 30th. The governing body and FOM will next do their due diligence on the topic, with a final judgment on any petitions received by June 30th. The FIA is empathetic that even if teams are chosen for the second stage, there's no certainty that they'll be placed on the grid. In a note outlining the details of the process, it said, "For the avoidance of doubt, no new applicant has an automatic right of entry to the championship, and the maximum number of teams competing in the championship up to and including the 2025 season is capped at 12. Existing F1 teams will be given precedence over new applications. In the event that no applicant is considered suitable by the FIA and/or by the F1 commercial rights holder, no new F1 teams will be selected." In addition to the FIA, Formula One and rights holder Liberty Media can impose conditions on new entrants. As a result, even if the FIA agrees, new entrants may still be excluded. The FIA further emphasizes that a strict limit of 12 teams exists. As a result, if there are more candidates, teams will be forced to withdraw. Teams who are already on the grid certainly have a leg up on newcomers. Among the potential options is the much-discussed Andretti-Cadillac partnership. The Asian Panthera team has also expressed interest, and Hong Kong millionaire Calvin Lowe has talked publicly about his aspirations. Andretti's announcement sparked some controversy in Formula One, although FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem has often stated that the sport has enough of capacity for new entrants. Who do you think will join the grid in the coming years? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.